All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our WCW Clash of the Champions series. This is going to be WCW Clash of the Champions 27. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's get into it. June 23rd, 1994, Charleston, South Carolina. This is the night where we are unifying the two titles because somebody decided they wanted to come in and quote, one man, one champion. Meanwhile, he hasn't officially even challenged. He's already, Hulk Hogan has already made his mark to go after Ric Flair, but he's not. There's no guarantee that Flair is going to win tonight
Well, Hogan
against.
said he would fight. I mean, Hogan said he'd fight either one of them, whoever was the.
I just love how he just comes in after a year and a half and forget anybody else that's in line, brother.
Yeah.
This is me.
Mhm.
And then, all of a sudden, two titles aren't going to work for him, and so they have to unify it for his ass. Now, I mean, granted, I've said this before. I believe in the previous episode. Did they need two world titles with the roster they had? Absolutely
No,
not.
they didn't. They didn't.
Did it work for the storyline when they brought in back Ric Flair? Yes. But to me, now let me ask you a question. If you had a healthy Rick Rude, let's just say, would Rude even be a part of this, knowing with Hogan, knowing that that he wants this to happen in the unification with Hogan coming up? Do you even think Rude would even be in this clash in a unifying match?
No, because from what I understand, Hogan didn't want to work with Rude.
See,
Right. Yeah. So.
politics is already taking over.
Yeah. Well,
He's already getting the say and everything. He hasn't had one match in WCW yet.
right. Well,
And
it's Bischoff's fault. I mean, we'll get into
it
it
is.
as we continue. We'll get into it.
But let's get into it because honestly, this card itself wasn't bad. It was actually
Yeah, it
it
wasn't
was
bad.
pretty good. Opening match was for the WCW Tag Team titles. You had Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan defending the titles against the Nasty Boys. Oh, Kevin Sullivan! As long as you win, you can keep him happy. But when you start losing, man, he gonna turn on you. And they had two referees assigned to this match. Now, remember when they won the titles, it was originally supposed to be the Sullivan brothers
Mm-hmm.
that went for the tag team titles, but Dave Sullivan got attacked and Cactus Jack filled in for him. So you had Dave Sullivan down at ringside,
Evad. Yeah.
Evad, sporting the Hulk.
He's a Hulkamaniac.
Yep. Meanwhile, just 10 months ago, he's the equalizer. So whatever. But in any event, uh, they said that the Nasty Boys, they lost the titles back at Slamboree to these guys, so they're getting their rematch to try to get the titles back. Now during the match, while Sags is outside attacking Dave Sullivan and Kevin coming to his aid, Cactus did a double underhook DDT on Brian Knobbs and gets the pin. So Sags, who's doing extracurricular activity with Dave Sullivan, not even paying attention to the match, Cactus was able to capitalize on that and get the double underhook DDT on Knobbs, get the pin, and they successfully defended the tag team titles against the Nasty Boys.
See you.
So congratulations to them. Until they lose this, and then Sullivan just that boy's just batshit crazy. So after that, Mean Gene Okerlund interviewed Sting. Plus, they showed a video package for the Guardian Angels in New York.
Oh yeah.
I don't ever remember them when I live in.
I actually do. I do remember
Oh, okay.
seeing them. Yeah, and I remember one of the Guardian Angels. He got his ass whipped on the train. I forgot what train I was on. I had to be like 12, 13 years old. Remember, he got his ass handed to him.
Probably the J or one of those.
No, I never took I only took the NR and D, if I remember correctly, and B train.
Okay.
But either way, yeah. So that's my Guardian Angels story. He's now the Guardian Angel. He's not the boss or whatever the hell else.
Whatever the hell else they got to give him. So now, he's the Guardian Angel from Cobb County, Georgia, but he goes up to New York to do this now.
Curtis
so now,
Silva. Curtis was there. Did you saw him in the interview?
Yeah.
Remember he almost got whacked? I think this was in the 90s. He almost got whacked. They blamed the Gaudis, but I don't know if that was true. I think that was just whatever.
Anyway.
Went on.
The next match on the card is the Guardian Angel versus Tex Slazenger or Phineas, whatever you want to call him. This match itself was okay. I liked when the Guardian Angel, or the Boss Man, whatever, he gave Tex 3 strikes. As he's hitting, he goes, "That's strike 1. Oh, that's strike 2." And on strike 3, he started whooping his ass. And of course, he kept at least he kept his finisher, the side suplex slam. He gets that on Tech Slasher. Guardian Angel gets the victory. Yeah, of course you're going to get the victory now in a little momentum because it's a new gimmick for you, but this is going to crap out really
Oh
fast.
yeah, oh yeah.
Then he goes to the Fallen Angel,
Oh Lord.
and then they honestly might as well just have brought him back to his original NWA gimmick, which was Big
Big
Bubba
Bubba,
Rogers.
yeah, yeah.
Eventually they
I mean,
do,
eventually they do, yeah.
but he should have just went back as
Yeah,
that.
I agree. I agree.
So, but in any event, following that match, they showed Hogan's motorcade arriving to the arena.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. But,
Because Hogan had just we should give a little of the backstory. Hogan had just signed recently after he had I guess retired, left WWE, went to do Thunder in Paradise, and then he ends up signing.
Yeah, they were filming
Year
next
later.
door where at the end, where
The show was tanking. The real story is the show was tanking, and they offered him a lot of money. So he said, "All right." That's what happened, more or less.
that WCW was tanking or Thunder in Paradise.
Thunder, well, both, but Thunder in Paradise, yeah.
I tried. I think I watched the first
I watched every
episodes.
episode, man.
I tried.
Listen,
I
anything
really tried.
wrestling related, I was watching. Like at
Yeah.
that point, whether it was good or bad, it just was it was what it was. But so yeah, the motorcade, Hogan comes out, and
And as soon as he comes out of the limo, there were some boos. But remember, we're in Flair country.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Whether it be North Carolina, South Carolina, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Flair country, so you are going to get booed. They do this anywhere else.
Right.
It's a standing ovation that you're not going to even be able to hear yourself. Excuse me. Now, for the next match, Jesse Ventura joined Tony Schiavone from commentating. Bobby Heenan bowed out. I love how anytime Tony mentions anything about Hulk Hogan, Ventura goes right to the match and doesn't even acknowledge what Tony just said.
No, he doesn't, because he doesn't like Hogan. Even though
he despises him.
Yeah, he blames Hogan for getting him fired too.
I would too.
He said that basically he told Bischoff to fire him. So, he doesn't last very long. He doesn't last.
No, I figured he was on his way out here eventually.
Yeah.
Because there's no room.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work for him, brother.
No.
But in any event, the next match on the card was for the television championship. You had Larry Zbyszko defending the title in a rematch against Lord Steven Regal.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see Zbyszko back in the ring. I was one of the few guys that I liked his style. I liked his wrestling. A lot of people don't remember his big claim to fame in WWE was turning on his best friend Bruno Sammartino and laying him for dead, hitting him with a chair, shattering it, and just busted him open in blood.
Damn it.
And then, the whole storyline with him going after the title against Bruno. But, he hadn't wrestled really here since the Dangerous Alliance had gone away. And then he gets into the storyline with Regal. He upsets him. He beats him for the title. So now Regal's looking to get payback. And, hey, we're actually going to get a TV title match that doesn't end in a draw. So now at the end of the match, it got a little hinky for me. And the reason why I'm going to say is this. Larry Zbyszko goes for the Boston Crab. Sir William grabs Larry's leg, barely grabs him, and Zbyszko does a half-ass flip. Mm-hmm. But he barely touched your boot. Okay. And then Regal kind of he flipped over. Regal on the top, he gets the pin. He rolls him up, holding the tights, on the rope, everything he can do. He gets the 3 count, wins back the television title from Zbyszko. So once again, Lord Steven Regal is on top of his throne with his title. I just thought that was funny, though. Barely hits the boot, and he gets the flip. It's funny. Now, following that, Mean Gene interviewed Dustin Rhodes and Arn Anderson. We all know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
We remember when we did the pay-per-view. Dustin asking Arn to be his partner.
Yeah. It would be an honor.
I can't wait till we get to that one.
Yeah.
At Bash at the Beach against Terry Funk and Bunkhouse Buck and Arn Anderson. If I become your partner, it's not going to be the Arn Anderson you see in front of you. It's going to be the Arn. He goes, we're going to get fined, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get hurt, but that's okay. And I'm like, dude, you don't read between the lines with this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying.
No, he wasn't lying. He was going to get hurt, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he accepted being his partner. And of course, we've done the pay-per-view. Arn Anderson finally gets in the ring. He's all hyped up, and then he DDTs Dustin Rhodes.
Damn it.
I know. But I mean, this is just Arn Anderson's resume.
Hmm.
So, in any event, moving on to the next match, which was for the United States title, it was Stunning Steve Austin defending the title against Johnny B. Bad. Parker was not in Austin's corner for this match. He said he was going to let Austin wrestle on his own from
Yeah,
now on.
Austin's lit. You're starting to see like previews of Stone Cold.
Yes, I did a little
Hmm.
bit, but I also,
Got more of an
eventually
edge.
going to see the exit
Yeah.
of Austin as
Hmm.
well.
Thanks to you know.
Uh-huh.
But anyway.
Well, he's hurt, man. Because
Right.
his
But that
last
was
match
that
was
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 everybody
a
though.
tournament match
Yeah, but that was
against Randy Savage.
Bischoff loved FedExing people their walking papers when they were hurt.
I don't think he had what it took to say it to their face.
I don't know, I guess.
I really don't think he had what it took to sit there and go, I gotta let you go.
Very odd here. He did it to Steamboat. Steamboat was injured and he kicked him to the curb.
Which is the next clash where Steamboat and Austin fought, and yeah, right
He gets
after
hurt.
with his neck, I couldn't believe that. Well, yeah, he had no problem fighting. Well, with an injured neck, what's Steamboat going to do to him? I mean, really. And Steamboat's not the type of guy that would throw a chair at
Wow.
you. Austin would. But in any event, the turning point of this match was when Bad missed the sunset flip pin off the top rope. This is where Austin was able to get the momentum back on his side. Before that, Johnny B. Bad was owning this match. And this was a really good match between the two.
Yes. It's funny too though, thinking about like what happens when um Austin just refuses to work with Marvelous Mark Merrow. Which you can't blame him because of what happened, and I don't want to
When
get.
he busted his mouth open to King of the Ring.
Well, no, not even so much that. It was the whole thing with I don't want to get too sidetracked on it. They made Sable bomb like they made Sable do the Sable bomb on Mark Merrill right before he was supposed to go into an Austin feud, and
Yeah, that
Austin
was
was like,
bad.
Sable just destroyed him. Like I can't draw money with this guy.
And this is not going to work
Yeah.
for me. Not using Hogan's line here as a joke,
Right,
but
yeah,
really, it's not.
it
It's
made no
going to
sense.
hurt Austin.
Right? Yeah, it didn't make any
If
sense. But here they
and,
here at least.
and that would have been a great feud with Marvelous Mark Merrow and Austin if they didn't burn him and bury him.
Well, they already destroyed us. But either way,
I know.
this was I thought it was a pretty good match.
This really was. This was one of the best ones on the card, despite the besides the main event.
Mhm.
Now this is where I really I'll get to Hogan in a minute because of course, even though he didn't physically have something to do with knowing the outcome of this match, the fact that the announcers are all over Hogan for the whole night, every match is Hogan, 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 Hogan. Forget what you got going in front of you. They only care about him. Now, the reason why I say this, Austin reached into his trunks and he pulled out something. He hits Bad with it in the midsection, rolls him up and gets the pin, puts it under his armpit. Now, as his hand gets raised by by Nick Patrick, it falls out of his armpit. Now, Randy Anderson comes into the ring and tells Nick Patrick what he saw, and he raises. That's when they raise Austin's arm and it pops out. Okay, so they haven't changed the decision yet. Now, excuse me. Then Bad for right at that moment rolls up Austin, and Randy Anderson counts the three count.
It's a 3 count, yeah.
Now Johnny B. Bad leaves the ring with the United
With the
States
belt,
title.
yeah. You think he won? There's a lot of confusion.
Now, obviously, if you're telling him what happened, this is going to end in a disqualification. Now, if you
Right,
look it
right,
up,
right,
that's
yeah.
what it was.
Right. Or they're gonna restart the match, but more likely a DQ. Yeah.
Yeah. So Johnny B. Bad wins the match by
DQ
DQ.
doesn't get the title. We don't know that at the moment though, because
Now they go to commercial.
Yeah.
Now you think they're going to figure this out once they come back from commercial? No. Mean Gene's interviewing Hulk Hogan. We never hear another damn thing about this match.
Yeah, well, that's what happened.
Like, okay, you're going to tell us what happened? Did they restart the match and we missed it? Did you really? Was it a DQ? We don't know what happens at the end of this
I
match.
didn't care, but yeah.
They just went on to the next program. And of course, this is where Hogan, one man, one belt.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He was at that point. I got the impression he was referring to the match. Like this match is at the end of this, there's going to be one champion. I don't know if Hogan was actually behind the unification. I've never been able to get a story about that. All I know is he didn't want to work with the Rude, so I don't know. But At that point, Rude was already gone. At that
Yeah,
point, anyway.
I think it
So
maybe didn't have as much to do with him as they were deciding just to finally
it was
unify it.
time. Probably it was because Hogan had a list of people who he wanted to work with. I just felt like if you were gonna do unification, you should have had Rude unify. Rude should have had a unification match, and won the title. Unfortunately, he gets injured, and they basically strip him.
Yeah.
That's what happened because he won the match. Then they strip him and say that well he cheated to win the match, but it was really that he was injured. That's why they had to strip him. And then Sting wins, and that he didn't Sting didn't take the title back. He had that vacant title match, and he won, and then so he's the international champion. So, but Hogan's cutting this promo, and then Flair comes up on the screen, right? Flair pops up on the screen.
Yeah. And so, you can see that this is building up between the two of them.
They ignore all the history. They ignore all the history that they ever because
Oh yeah, they never fought each other in '91 or '92.
right. They say they've never been in the building at the same time.
Oh, so
Right.
so the funeral parlor didn't exist
None of
either.
that stuff
When he
happened.
comes out and goes, "Big man," right before the
Yeah.
Undertaker comes out of
Right. You know how long I
yeah, we
waited for
don't,
this?
or the house shows that they
Yeah.
had against each other. Or I guess Flair never put that chair where Taker
Yeah.
tombstone Hogan. No, we never had any of
It's just
this.
never happened because Hogan says I've been watching
They
you.
never fought in the Rumble either.
No, Hogan says he's been watching him for years, and I mean,
Well,
I
that's
thought the
true.
promo was fine. I thought it was a good promo between the two of them. I thought it was,
Did WWE drop the ball on this mega match?
yeah,
Yes. Are
absolutely.
we ever going to find out the truth about it? No. So WCW did what was right. I'm not going to knock them for it. They
Yeah,
capitalized on
yeah,
getting the two biggest men
hmm
two biggest icons in the
yeah,
business
absolutely.
together in a match.
Yeah.
For Hogan just to automatically go and get a title shot and win the title, to me, I was just like,
Yeah.
that's BS. But what are you going to do? So then, of course, following that, we had comments from Shaq and Hogan because
hmm
when they get the Bash of the Beach, they're all going to be
Right.
there. Mr.
It's in
T,
it's in
Shaq.
Orlando. It's in Orlando. Shaq was playing for the Magic at the time.
So our next match on the card is for the WCW title, and I don't care. I'll still say it now because that doesn't make technically it wouldn't make Sting a champion either. The World Heavyweight Champion because they do refer to Sting as the International
Yeah,
World Heavyweight Champion.
he was the international. Yeah, yeah.
So this was the unification bout for both titles. Nick Bockwinkel was in the ring. And like I said, Buffer referred to Sting as International World Heavyweight
Yeah,
Champion.
Sting was lucky enough that he had won the other title too. It's not like he only won the international. That was the whole thing with Rude is that Rude never won the other title. So Sting is recognized because he won the other title. Ridiculous. We'll get into it. We're gonna
So,
do an episode on the international title and the history of it. But
yes, we are. Now, before the bell rang to start the match, Sherry came down because they were all talking throughout the
all right,
night.
whose corner Sherry
Whose
was?
corner was she going to be in? Bobby Heenan thought it was going to be
Yeah,
Hogan for whatever reason. When she comes down and she unveils herself, she's wearing Sting's colors on her
the
face.
Sting paint. Yeah. I mean, this was cool though, man. The whole idea, champion versus champion. I thought they did a good job. Like the introductions were cool. It was like it was I like to see
Bringing
it.
her out, you kind of knew now where they were going to go
Yeah, but I didn't.
because anybody
Yeah,
that knows Sherry, I mean,
yeah,
yeah, she was a fan favorite in WWE when she left for like a minute.
hmm hmm
But for the most part, we know her track record, especially with Hogan. And so, who better to go with than the Nature Boy Ric Flair? I mean, even she's in Sting's corner. Sting's not even really recognizing
Right,
her.
right. He looks over, but he's like,
Yeah, he's just like, all right,
rose
this is
gold.
all news to me. Now, what made it interesting is she finally gets into involved in the match. Sting clotheslines Flair over the top rope. No disqualification there, by the way. He does a springboard dive over the top rope. Flair pulls Sherry in, and he collides
Yeah.
and takes Sherry out
It sounded like Sherry hit her head. I heard
on
that thing.
on the guardrail. Yeah,
Yeah,
it looked like yeah.
yeah. Did a good job. Did a good
hmm
job selling it.
So now
Sting's
Sting is checking.
distracted. He's all
Sting is
distracted.
distracted. He's checking on Sherry.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Flair rolls up Sting with a handful of tights and gets the pin. Not even a figure four, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I mean, he had gotten distracted once. The match continued. Got distracted again. Then gets rolled up. Ridiculous.
yeah, multiple distractions. This one, yeah, he gets rolled up. Now Ric Flair is the undisputed
Yeah.
WCW heavyweight champion.
Damn it. And
I
the last international champion, technically. And
Yeah,
he
but
is.
they're going to use that belt, mind you.
Yeah, they keep the big
The
gold belt,
WCW,
which
what
was
looks like the WWE title
they
from
just
'98.
they just get rid of it.
goes away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was the end. That was originally the NWA title.
So now after Sherry got in the ring, you know, you just see her. She hugs Ric Flair.
Damn it.
I'm like, what a little bitch.
Damn
But
it.
I knew even watching this
Yeah, of
live
course,
back
of
then
course.
that this was going to happen. Uh, and they attacked Sting, both of them.
Yeah,
Eventually,
she had a high spot, man. She jumped off the top rope too.
she was good at that splash.
Yeah, yeah,
She was
yeah.
really good
Well,
at
she was a
that.
wrestler. She was a former wrestler.
Former women's champion.
Yeah.
So now, finally, Hogan shows up,
Again.
to take care, to help Sting. Sherry was trying to hit him with the purse. Instead, she slaps Hogan because we know that purse is loaded. We know this documented from
Mm.
back when she was with Randy Savage in WWE.
Flair's
And then
scared.
yeah, he gets the hell out of the ring. So now he's gone with her. Mean Gene gets in the ring interviewing Hogan. Now Hogan says in 2 days on Saturday night he's bringing Ted Turner and a
Yeah,
contract,
and you go.
and he challenges Ric Flair for the title. This is where
Shouldn't
they made it
shouldn't
technically almost
Shouldn't
official.
Sting get a rematch?
Yes, he should. But they're not going to do a triple threat. Or I'm sorry, their version triangle match. They're not going to
I
do
mean,
it.
that wasn't right, man. It was a unification
You know what this reminded
match.
me of?
Chicane. Go ahead.
WrestleMania 9. Hogan comes and helps Bret for
Yeah,
whatever
in a
reason,
way,
because
in a way.
Hogan never has a relationship with Bret Hart until now.
I know what they're doing, yeah, but yeah.
And then Fuji, Hogan, yeah, we challenge you. And then, oh yeah, get out of here, Bret. I got this.
And I get it. I get it. Hogan was he was still the biggest name, even though he had lost some luster, but he was still the biggest name. They paid a lot of money to get him. So
Yes,
I
they
guess you
did.
got to throw him on. And to be fair, that Bash the Beach set a record. That was a huge pay-per-view for them. So
They didn't disappoint in the match.
right. So in
They
hindsight,
absolutely
but
not.
I'm just kind of critiquing the situation. But yeah.
Uh-huh.
Overall, I mean, I thought this was a pretty decent clash. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining.
There was some good matches. Like I said, I just didn't like that they just ignore. They hurried up with the U.S. The whole thing. They go to commercial and they just like forget it about it.
Yeah.
Move on to the next segment. Don't even tell you who wins. I mean, obviously we know who did. They just made the whole night about Hogan. And again, I've said this before. When the NWO starts coming around on the Nitros, that's all they're going to start talking about then. Mysterio and Guerrero could put on a match of the year, and all they're going to talk about is Hogan and Piper, or Hogan and this, or Hogan and that, or the NWO.
Yeah.
They're not going to give the match its time. And this whole night, that's what I felt they were doing with Hogan. But I'm not knocking. The card itself was good.
But
They were just obsessed with the man
I
on this
agree.
evening.
It gets worse. All right.
You
Well,
ain't kidding.
all right. That's our episode. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys soon.
Take care.